yeah, that's basically it. It's a 4-player map.
Okay, yes, my lord. Okay.
So yeah, the reason we don't have a remaster is probably because Warcraft 2 has been one of the
Yes, me
least
lord.
well
Yes, me
portrayed
lord.
game
Yes, me
in
lord.
history
Okay.
compared to
Okay.
the love its
Okay.
fans give it. This game
Yes,
is
my lord.
amazing. It
Okay.
has a lot of
Yes,
depth
me
to it.
lord.
It's
My
very
lord.
strategical.
Okay.
It is way less of a button mashing contest as other RTS, and yet it didn't get any publicity whatsoever for it. It doesn't get any prize for its amazing multiplayer balance, even though it was 1995. Uh, like, this is incredible how this game is balanced in multiplayer when you know every single unit is played, and that game has not received a balance patch ever since it came out, and yet at very high level you're going to see every single unit used. It is pretty incredible. The game is very cleverly built when it comes to the tech trees and the managing of the grid. It is just an incredible game, and there is no other game like it. Yet it did not have the benefit of having YouTube being born pretty much a little bit too late. It didn't get the competitive scene of the Korea scene, where they basically gave out for free StarCraft, and so people didn't get to play Warcraft 2 for free. You've never seen a cyber cafe where you could play Warcraft 2 for free. You could play StarCraft, but Warcraft 2 did not benefit from this. Yes, archers are played. Archers are played for defending walls and stuff. But yeah, everything has a use, and it's such a very such a very fine game. It's so beautiful, but yeah, it didn't get the same. I believe it went out too early in history. Like, if it came out at the same time as StarCraft came out, I believe it would have received a lot more prize for what it is, because it's just a wonderful game. It has so it is so beautiful to see in multiplayer. When you see very good players, it is really amazing what they do with that grid, that fat grid. But it came at a time where people were looking for realistic games, and the developers wanted to make realistic games. So when they made Warcraft 2, they believed the grid was too visible and they wanted to hide it. And so that's why all the RTS after Warcraft 2 have almost invisible grids, if no grids at all. Like, some grid now they don't have grids at all. They are real collisions. But back then, units moved from tile to tile like they would on a board game, and that's what Warcraft 2 was, a board game in real time. And although it is unique and beautiful today, back then people thought it was clunky and you know and not really fun, because they wanted to manage an army. They didn't want to play a board game, and so it has a lot of it had a lot of hate for what it was. But after the years, once you come back to it and you look at it from a different perspective, which is being older, I guess, you start to realize how refined it was and how fun it is to actually play on a grid instead of managing an army and right clicking across the map like most RTS do these days. It is fun to have a grid to manage and to have very small amount of units that you place carefully. It is, yeah, it is just unique. You don't see that anywhere else. So yeah, well, orange is I don't know what that build is, honestly. It is very, very weird. But yeah, Niko will. Oh, I'm actually not muted. Good luck, Niko. I don't know what that build is. It is very, very weird what orange is doing here. It is not efficient by any mean. This is it is not beautiful. So I've known players that build incredibly beautifully, but this is not it. This is the opposite. This is not pretty. Warcraft 2 It's interestingly enough, it's very close to Tetris. If you play Tetris and you're good at it, I can tell you're probably gonna have the best buildings, the best bases, because it's basically managing a grid as well, and making it efficient. But, oh my god, blue is like blue is definitely against walls. He has something against walling off. He's like, I just want to build farms everywhere. Scout farms are great too. I do it sometimes. When you're gonna rush very hard, it's funny to not even wall, because you know you're gonna have an army that should sustain any kind of hit. And if you're planning your attacks properly, you don't need a wall to counter an attack, you know, to counter something that would come for you. And what is that very bad choke point for green? He needs to back off, yeah. Alright. He needs to fight in the, yeah, this is a very good choke point. 5 for 3 is good. 5 versus 3 is a good choke. 2 versus 1 choke is perfect. As long as he makes them fight in that choke point, he has a chance to win against the two armies. Did you see how many grunts that was? And yet he still could win this because of the management of the choke. Madluster had a very good defense. He almost killed the whole two armies of 2 players with using that nice choke point there. Uh-oh, a little bit of lag. I don't believe, I think the first time Green Goblin played that map, he knew he had to put a cannon there and wall it here and here. You can wall it up perfectly without knowing very much the map. But you see that you have like a 3 opening here. You can put a racks there to close it. You could wall that off with farms. You can wall it here. But if you wall it here, you have a bigger opening there, so you always have to choose where you wall. In my opinion, the closest is like just put a 3x3 building here, and let it open on that side with raxes. I mean, you have a lot of possibilities. On that side, it's much more easy. You can see you can close that off here, and we have knights on blue side. And that is kind of a... yeah, Tyferion does love that cannon tower setup. He's always going for that cannon tower setup. That's very weird. He must like it. It's closed. At least it's closed. But that is not reachable by the cannon tower. And even if the cannon upgrades, this will be open soon. So this could be opened. And only 1 peon can repair that farm, so... okay, cannon is going up. I don't know what to think. Besides the fact that, yeah, oh my, it's just too many knights. I believe Madluster and Blue have this time. Yeah, counter-attacking can be very strong. Cannon is up, but that leaves... oh, no, there's another one here. Oh no, that leaves Niko dead. Niko's dead. He chopped out. He chopped out of his base. I really don't like that base, man. The Raxes are so far out, they are gonna be destroyed for nothing. There is another rack, 3 racks. How are you supporting 3 racks when you have a 10k gold mine? Okay, he's gonna expand. Yeah, the wall is pretty terrible. The good news is, no, there's no good news for Tyferion, because he needs an expansion and he won't be able to get it. Like, if Blue plays it smart and doesn't waste his troops, he can just stop Tyferion from getting expansion. And that gold mine doesn't... it's not enough. It's not enough to make an army big enough that he will be able to claim it. And for Niko, Niko is just now reaching Knight's deck, but he's on a 10k gold mine as well, so I see very little chances for them to be able to pull it off. Especially when you see how many knights Blue has. Blue basically can win it alone now. There's just too many knights on the on the board here. That what the early keep gives him, bonus gold every time peons come back. It's 10 more gold, so it's pretty juicy to have it running very fast. He's making sappers though. He wants to. Oh, there was a cancel on the racks. I'd much rather have a farm here, but it's gonna be opened again. Chopping out here, he's chopping out here, and he chopped out here as well. So there's 3 chops. I tried to hop on, but it's going to take some time to figure out what's going on with Warcraft 2 and with my new comp. It's probably a firewall issue, bootleg, fruitlag. It's probably a firewall issue. I would say most likely a firewall issue. Don't buy another game if you it should be working normally with the one game. It's probably a firewall or antivirus or whatever. And if you still can't manage to connect, just wipe the Battle.net folder in your registry. You can open Regedit and find the Battle.net Warcraft 2 folder. Just remove everything, reinstall the game. Sometimes it is it can. That's the registry system. Registry system for Windows is kind of bad sometimes. Yeah, he just sent his knights to death there. Just don't load more RAM. Warcraft 2 is not that pricey in RAM. Oh, this is just so many knights. In blue is like going to take the gold mine of orange. What a grab. Let's be honest, it's not gonna work too well. Oh god, poor Niko. Well, his base was really bad, I think. But I don't know, I don't like that cannon tower. When you have a 20k gold mine, a cannon tower, man, it's asking for trouble. At the same time, at that point, he had no army and he was gonna get hit, so it made more sense, but still. There's something wrong. They did engage the green army into 2 choke points, a 5v3 choke point there and a 2v1 choke point there. And almost all of the time during that fight, green had a decent number of grunts. They had about twice the number, but they were fighting in very bad situations, and they lost all of their army in these choke points. And so they didn't manage to get as much value as they should have. GG. Rare game where the initial attackers didn't get advantage. Well, that was a mistake from them to attack in the choke point here. They shouldn't. They should just hold the choke here, not try to go in there, hold it there, damage the racks, hold it there, damage the farms. That's what they should have done. Because they can kill the farms, and once the farms are killed, there is no more choke point here. He has to back off with the grunts and find something here. And in the chaos, you can actually kill the grunts. But yeah, that was a mistake. In my opinion, you should not never, of course, sometimes you will have decent enough numbers that you can burst in and kill a player, but they should have taken their time, hold that position there and hold this. Because blue was playing very greedy. He did not have enough grunts to save green. So they couldn't know that, of course, but I mean, if blue has enough footmans to save green, right, then you would even less want to rush and burst into the choke. I believe they lost the game as soon as they started doing that. Pretty much. I think that was the one mistake there.